Okay, Friday the 16th of Feb 2024. So that's a whole of 2024 that I haven't done a walk in yet. 3 months since my last one up in the Chilterns, and this one was touch and go today, thanks once again to the trains. So I take a 3-month hiatus and absolutely nothing has changed with regards to trains. Unbelievable. Doesn't give me any motivation really to come out and do these walks, to be honest. But there you go. I'm an hour in arrears at the moment. It now being 12:30. Got a bit of a cloudy day down here in Chipstead, North Downs, Surrey. But it's mild. There is a bit of a breeze, so that will give me a good opportunity to test my new handycam. Yes, during the hiatus I acquired the long-awaited new camcorder, which is another Panasonic. Can't remember the model number off the top of my head, but I will mention that. It does have a 4K capacity, but I'm not going to be using that. I've just sort of future-proofed myself in case YouTube change things, but I'm still filming in HD simply for storage purposes and speed of upload. But yeah, I'm hoping we'll get some better pictures, less wind interference, because the microphone is on the top of the camcorder, and also less issue with noise when I zoom in and out, which incidentally is an issue that Panasonic are aware of and happens when you use certain types of zoom. The way round it apparently is to buy an external microphone, which this camcorder can facilitate, albeit at about 80 quid. So obviously I'm trying to avoid that at the moment. Anyway, I'm doing Chipstead, possibly the Kingswood, because I'm an hour late, or possibly a Chipstead circular. The Kingswood version would be 10 miles, the circular would be about 8.5. So clearly it depends on my speed really. I haven't done one of these for 3 months, as I say. I could be a bit ponderous over these downs, but let's see how it pans out. Let's crack on. This is swcwalks177, one that I haven't done previously. Odd little station, this. Parade of shops very close to the station that I'm now passing. Okay, just 2 minutes after leaving the station, we're now entering the Downs, and as you can hear in the background, plenty of birdsong already. Come to a footpath marker here, and of course it's half term for the rich kids, not the state schools yet, so there's more people around than there would normally be. If you do your research, you'll find that there's a lot of connection with Narnia. Not my cup of tea all this, but there you go. This one being Asian the lion. Yeah, the old hazel catkins have almost passed over in my absence. Snowdrops as well, I should imagine. But the song thrush has recently appeared up my way, as you can hear in the background. So I was determined to get out before all this song passes. My favourite time of the year, as regulars will know, spring. And unfortunately it's going to be curtailed at intervals, as I've got a couple of treatments to have, nothing serious, that could interfere with my Thursday/Friday walk days. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, need to pack some walks in because I've missed so many. So here's the wardrobe. I'll go and have a look for the White Witch. Well, I can't see the White Witch either. Shame. Passing Park Farm on my right here. Our onward journey is straight ahead. Following the Banstead Woods nature trail, as you can see. Well, I've just seen both a tree creeper and a nuthatch over there and been unable to capture either of them. Wanted to test out the new zoom, which is more powerful than the old one, and this camera also has a wider field of vision, so or view, which I find useful on outdoor shots. Albeit it was dry, it's dry now rather, with a westerly breeze. There was some rainfall down here last night, so the paths are pretty squidgy. Great tits in the background. Everything's getting ready to pair up, if it hasn't already. Mid-Feb, global warming. Some birds are getting caught out and nesting already. Robins would have done anyway, and certain other species, but lots of others are getting caught out now. The insects aren't catching up with their young. Now walking alongside Banstead Woods edge, with views on my left here that I hope to capture in a minute. It's been mainly much of a muchness in here, so not too many shots internally. The wood, that is. Looks like this is going to be good for bluebells very shortly. Haven't seen any snowdrops or crocuses in here yet. Might not get them down this way. Or celandines even. Aconites probably passed over now. Now about to cross over the railway line here in Chipstead Bottom, with the golf course coming into view over there. Quite a blind curve there, so I'm surprised they've allowed this crossing to stay open. Thinking about how pernickety they are. In front of the old schoolhouse here, taking one of these two paths, not sure which yet, opposite. Yeah, and there's a bunch of snowdrops still about. Information board here about Shabden Park, which is famed apparently for its sweeping views of rolling hills and sheep grazed valleys. Intensively farmed in the 60s and 70s, almost destroying the rich wildflower grassland. Carefully managed since, however. It's now a wildlife friendly habitat. Surrey Wildlife Trust. Good on ya. Google that for more info, as usual. Shabden Park. There is the railway line over there. And I've just found a spot of rain, which wasn't forecast. Again, typical of the Met. Decent enough vista here from around 380 foot. At this finger post, take the right along the top edge of the field. In fact, those catkins are probably hornbeam that I mentioned earlier. A lot of hornbeam around. This is Poorfield Wood on the map on my left. Views back whence I've come. And alongside me now, typical Kentish rolling hills with chalk underfoot, and Porter's Wood here on my left. So at this juncture, come off the chalky path which continues up on the left there, and we enter this grassy field. Thus, now following the Shabden and Upper Gatton circular walk by the looks of things. Through this gate into the Long Plantation, and I'll shortly be reversing things to accommodate a potential busy country lane. All will be revealed. About 480 foot up here, and at this junction the main walk would continue straight ahead. Short walk would turn right, but I'm going left against the grain, so to speak, because the main walk comes back up this way. I'm going to do it in reverse because I want to avoid the potential issues with traffic on Chipstead Lane below, which I understand can be an issue because of the overgrowth on the bridleway that's apparently been left to overgrow in certain places, and it's almost unusable now, but we'll see. And talking of bridleways, these are footpaths but are being used by horses, as you can clearly see, which is churning up the path. Wasn't designed for horses and is making life harder for walkers. Absolute pain in the neck. Not sure how old that notice is, but there's a warning about ash dieback. Okay, I've missed my turn off, so I've actually got to walk a bit longer along Chipstead Lane than I hoped. But let's get cracking. It's just gone 2:15, so I'm hoping there won't be any school run traffic or workers going home at this time, which is why I've reversed it a bit. So there's the path I should have been on. Comes out by the farmhouse next to me. Yeah, Pigeon House Farm. And on that section I've just walked, didn't encounter any traffic. So this time of day seems good. Let's check the next section though. So I'm just stood opposite Southern's Lane, having walked past the farmhouse. Couldn't see any off-road facility, but I didn't need it. Two cars passed me from the opposite direction, no problem. So catch it at the right time and it seems okay. So I'd suggest you do what I'm going to do. Let's see how it pans out first though, and reverse this little section. Wonder if you're listening, Sean. This used to be the off-road facility. It's now got someone's put a rope across it, very helpfully. But as I say, catch it at the right time. Got bridleway opposite there, over there. But this farmhouse seems to be highly dubious. Clearly not walker friendly, I would guesstimate. So just past Bakehouse Cottage there, 1590 apparently. We do a left off the lane down this footpath between a fence and a row of conifers, passing Southern's farm with its donkeys and Shetlands I think that's what they are. Interesting, we're now walking down Rectory Road, but as far as I know there's no church on this walk, unfortunately, for lunch, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. It's getting near that time as well. So leaving the hamlet of Mugswell, taking this footpath on my right, which as you can see is part of the Millennium Trail. And that gate is very tight with a rucksack on your back. One of those that hasn't considered us walkers. Yeah, not very keen on that. Poor kingfisher in a, well, stuffed in the window display. And another one that's exactly the same. Poor design. So here we are, exactly 5 miles into the walk I make it, doing it the way I'm doing it as well. And we pass the recommended lunchtime stop, the Well House Inn, Mugswell. Rather run down looking place, but could be brilliant inside. It's still running, so it must be good. Survived COVID, etc. But as I say, I've got nowhere to have my lunch at the moment. So I'm now about to enter the golf course area. So I might find something up there, a seat or something, perhaps. Let's see. Views back whence I've come. Pub being down there in that valley. It's a cloudier afternoon than I was anticipating. Thought there'd be some sunny intervals. As long as it doesn't rain, that's the main thing. So here we go, across Kingswood golf course. And surprisingly there are people out on the fairway. So I doubt I better stop in here. So needs must. I'll try this fallen tree for my lunch stop today. It's coming up 3 o'clock. As I say, just over 5 miles in, halfway. So I do need some tucker. Bit of an old relic here from the greenkeeping days, I guess. As I now cross the golf course. 3:30, lunch has just been had. About 2 hours of daylight left. Hit and miss whether I get to Kingswood or not at the moment. Let's see. Surrey Downs Golf Club, championship level golf course as you'd expect in this county. Now following this public bridleway into the golf course. So just in front of Ganton House on my right here, we take a right. It's just starting to spit, which is why I haven't got the camera out too much at the moment. So we're now entering Surrey Downs Golf Club, which is different to the one I was on earlier, Kingsdown Golf and Country Club, but they're adjacent to each other. So as you can see, as we enter the Long Plantation per the map, yellow means a footpath, blue is for bridleway. Yeah, here we go. Horses, Surrey horses, thinking they can do what they like. So many things wrong with this country still. And a change of power from blue to red, as is looking likely, is not going to change anything. That's the very problem. So while the Yanks have the issue of 2 old fogies contesting the Premiership, we've got a similar problem with entrenched values in who to vote for with certain people. Really is abysmal. As the song goes, something better change. Trouble is, since 77 and that song, nothing has changed really. Here we are, back at the point I was earlier, where I was moaning about horses going down that way towards Mugswell, which is the way I went earlier. And obviously I've just come from the point that I described as the onward journey earlier, but we're now doing a left with the continuing reversal of the GPX track. And luckily the beauty of the GPX track is that I can do exactly what I've done without referring to any notes. I very rarely use the notes these days, other than getting from the station to the countryside really. They're useful for the urban sections of the walk. An occasional referencing where the GPX track isn't clear, but generally I tend to follow the GPX track these days. Much quieter now through this section of woodland. Fewer people than earlier today, but interestingly less birdsong. And I thought from reports I've read that the presence of public footpaths in woodland generally quietens the birdsong as they are fearful. Interesting. And that's another negative today actually, continuing on that note. The Countryman magazine has now finished in my life, so I have less reports to read. Unfortunately, just can't find an equivalent magazine, which is a real shame. I think I mentioned that on my last walk, but hey ho, 3 months on, I haven't found an alternative. Talk of the devil, song thrush comes into range, as does that jet unfortunately. Gatwick not too far distant. Hope you can catch that, the red tops of that, I think it's dogwood. Wonderful. So the other side of the valley there is where I was earlier. Over to that junction there. So there's the rail bridge I filmed earlier, and my journey up that hill. A little bit of duplication now as we cross the rail line, not much though. Oops, as that song thrush sings in the background. Decent views back of the old golf course and the valley on the other side from around point 33 of the text. Fame's Rough over there on my left in the valley. About point 35 of the text here. Headed towards Kingswood I've decided. Got about an hour left of daylight. As the omnipresent song thrushes will tell us. Interesting transition period this, as there are still field fares around as well. Not in this terrain, but in the farmland areas, which we might encounter shortly actually. Coming up to Perrott's farm, 8 mile in here. Lots of parakeets down this way now as well. unfortunately. Invasive species. Sounds like there's a colony of them over there in Lunch Wood on the map. Certainly adapted to our climate. Right, on the edge of Kingswood now. I wonder what that old building is. Rather imposing looking place. Owned by Legal and General, I believe, according to the security notices. By all accounts, it's an old office building. As I say, possibly Legal and General's, I don't know. Google it. Kingswood House. Well, there are some crocuses as we pass through a final little bit of woodland prior to hitting Kingswood, with the railway very close by, as you can hear. What a massive carbuncle that Kingswood house is, eh? Complete waste of space. Remnants of its car park down here as well as I enter Kingswood. Yeah, interesting. Don't think that's relevant anymore. I might be wrong. So here we are. This is the recommended tea time stop, Kingswood Arms, with a station just behind me. Very interesting looking station as well. Lots of mock tudor here, with a load of new properties opposite in what was probably once upon a time the goods yard. Sidings in good use of the railway bridge. So here we are. I made that 9.5 miles, 4 hours on the button. Not bad for a returnee after 3 months. Room for improvement though. That was a decent enough walk, nothing special. Hindered mainly by the 1 hour loss of time at the beginning. Railways in this country, as I continue to say, are a joke, as are the staff that work on them. Can't believe they're still on strike. Obviously, if they can afford to continue striking, they're getting overpaid. Simple as. The camera, which is a Panasonic, let me just give you the model number, HC-VX1, is, yeah, heavier, larger than the old one, but I'm hoping far more effective. So when I've sussed out the editing, when I get home later, or tomorrow more likely, and produce the video, let's see what emanates from that. Hopefully this is my first video using it and is kind of experimental. Henceforth they should improve, but I'm hoping the main feature is that the wind canceller is better, because that's always stopped me from walking in the past. So fingers crossed, and likewise hopefully out next week, although it is half term so that may put me off. Let's see. So that's swcwalks177, Chipstead to Kingswood, completed. Till the next time.